Just came here in this coffee shop to have my morning coffee after my morning cardio training, specifically VO2 max. I did 3 by 3. It wasn't fun. Today went especially heavy on the higher intensity parts, but it always feels great afterwards. So I feel quite great. And today it's just, on this stream, it's just a coffee and talks. Last time it was very nice. A lot of people engaged. We had good conversations, and that was very clean, very good chat as well. So I decided to come back to the same place since it gave away such a good vibe on the first experience. This is officially one of my favorite places now. Let me show you a little bit. So look at this. It is hotel / restaurant / coffee shop. And we have here a beautiful garden, and there is a pool. And now it's empty, not crowded at all. And you can see there is very pretty, very interesting ornaments, like wall drawing behind me. I think it creates a cool background. So yeah, I have my cappuccino. That's my favorite coffee. Sometimes I drink black coffee, I drink latte, I drink some other type of coffees, Vietnamese coffee, but cappuccino still remains my favorite one. And I have fresh coconut here as well. So it's hello, hope you're doing well. So I always order coconut if I can, if they have it available in the places, and I always order this one to have extra source of potassium that helps to balance the electrolyte baseline in the system. Obviously, always have water, and yeah, especially with the coffee, always try to have some light drinks, liquids. Hello, how are you? I'm doing well. A little bit tired, but also feel great after my morning training. Came right away here to this place. Coconut water is always cool, yes, and especially if it's cold and nice. I think it is one of the best tastes that humanity ever witnessed. If you've never been in Southeast Asia, in tropical countries, if you never tried the coconut, you get to do this. Hello, you didn't read my comment. Hey girl, you're fine. Oh, thank you, I appreciate it. I usually say thank you for compliments and good words, but even though this live stream doesn't have a specific topic, you can look up to my channel and you'll see that it's about training, boxing. We're not messing around. Our community is quite focused, clean, no trolling. All the positives, compliments is fine. But also letting you know, especially for ones who don't know me, I have a husband, and people who watch me, they know my husband. He's one of the moderators. He's like a backbone of the channel. So I appreciate all the comments, but also letting you know that me and my husband are together in this. But you're training, boxing. As I said, if you check out my channel, check out some videos. Lately, I've been mostly live streaming, but I live stream boxing trainings as well. I live stream some lessons, like boxing basics or boxing from the scratch. So you can look that one and see by yourself. No pressure. the redheads have an advantage in grappling, meaning if you grapple, you better don't have a soul. I don't know, maybe. I don't do that much grappling at all. I used to do a little bit of BJJ, took some classes. I've been there, but I got injured. I broke my pinky toe. I injured my knee. Things got nothing serious, but you know, in BJJ, sometimes if you don't take it easy and gradually getting there, learning technique, really do it in a smart way, I think BJJ has the highest risks of the injuries, more than boxing, more than kickboxing, and every type of striking. Guys, no stress, don't worry about it. As long as we're respectful to each other, everything's fine. As long as you are respectful to each other as well in the chat. I don't see anyone moderating today. None of my moderators are here, but as I said, let's try to keep the chat clean and actually talk about things. Feel free to ask questions, especially regarding channel and stuff like that. You can ask personal questions. That is no problem either. Mike Tyson. We love Mike Tyson. Hi, do you plan on fighting in real match? Yes, I do. I'm looking forward to it. Now I'm at the stage when I'm focusing a lot on cleaning up the flaws in the technique, in my stance, and all that kind of stuff. And it's been quite good in the last few months. And also endurance work. Like right now, today I had VO2 max training. I did 3 rounds of 3-minute high intensity run, like 95% out of my pulse, meaning like gasping and praying for those sets to end in the middle of the set, because you run very fast, your lungs burn, you push your pulse quite high, and then you recover in between just by walking slowly, doing active recovery, 3-4 minutes. So basically, it's like I did that work on treadmill. It's very comfortable to do that way on treadmill. And I'm training that way a couple times a week as a separate, usually in the mornings. Apart the other training, I'm going to have a training later in the day. It's going to be heavy back training. And it's also going to be, I'll teach you how, especially for the beginners, if you want to learn how to work on the back, not just punch it, but actually how you should work if you really want to take most out of it. You can join for the live stream later today. But yeah, as I said, morning training was cardio, trying to stick to it 2 times per week. VO2 max, that part. Original method is original exercise is 4x4. Norwegian endurance athletes, according to the Norwegian method, they use it as a part of the high intensity part of the entire program. Triathlon sportsmen and endurance athletes do that, but they also do the rest of the training. It's like a lot of jogging, a lot of long distance. If you take that VO2 max drill specifically, like 4x4, 3x3, I mean, it's just like the main point is the intervals, getting 95% out of your max pulse, and then trying to recover, do it a few times. That is basically its principle. If you have, which I don't think you have, a lactate monitor, the thing that measures the lactate in your muscles, that would be the best. But another way is just to measure pulse, or if you don't have that, you can just feel just feel where you are approximately and do that way. And that type of training shown a good results for many different types of sports, because boxing, martial arts, sprinting, for example, I also this channel started from sprinting actually, but then I went back to boxing because I've been doing primarily boxing for a long time. But anyways, it's a little bit different load. It's on, off, switching on and off, doing high intensity intervals, trying to recover, being able to pace through that tempo, and that's basically what you're gonna need on the ring. stamina wins, especially if you get back to the fighting, and or you're a complete amateur, you just want to start fighting professionally. Everyone who have had a fighting experience, everyone I asked, everyone says the same thing: endurance is what's gonna help you win. Okay, I'll look into chat now. Okay, fight Muay Thai? No, I don't do Muay Thai. Do MMA training make people violent? Like if I train, I'm going to beat my cat? I think it's quite opposite. I think a lot of, especially like younger men, even famous fighters, they were at the risk going down to the shady path in their life, and gym training, boxing, mixed martial arts, combat sports. I would even say that they save their life and refocus their attention to something else. No, you cannot. If you have tendency for fighting, if you're a fighter, you rather go down to that path where you have to use violence and you just live in the violence, or you gotta find a way how to direct it in other ways. And sports and competition is, I think, the best way possible to do that. Hi, Diana. Hi. What is your favorite strike and why? I mean, like single punch strike, left hook, like you do combo and then you boom, like throw that left hook. I think for a lot of people, left hook is the favorite one. Okay. Guys, as I said, I'm gonna put people on timeout like 10 minutes if there is, something weird going on in the chat, and then they're gonna have one more chance, but then I can hide from the channel just for you to know. I recognize you from somewhere. I don't know. I have no idea. Did you see Purple Moon yesterday? No, I didn't. I didn't know there was a Purple Moon. BJJ is your weakest link. If you go down, you're done. Truth. Well, yeah, against the BJJ. But I did wrestling, and I did whenever I tried it, I was actually way more natural in grappling and wrestling than in boxing. I would tell you that. So maybe I would be able, and I know how to do takedown defenses. Maybe I'll be able to do takedown defense. You never know. But if I taken on the ground by a BJJ, a wrestler, yeah, of course, that's why we have different rules. I think you're ready to win 4-round fight right now, maybe 10 or 12 if you don't knock out early, could be much different. Yeah, it's well, I do 3x3 now because that's kind of like the baseline, the capacity that I discovered in myself, and I'm sticking to it. With endurance, you gotta be careful. It's already suffering and it's already hard enough. You should not break your mentality by doing too hard and you're like try to dodge it and I didn't have time next week. It's better to push your limits slightly, just a little bit, and do that consistently. Keep pushing that limit more and more and more, and that's going to increase your the chances of you actually keep doing that cardio training and actually getting better at it. Okay, I'm gonna hide another one. Oh, I hide the guy. Okay, doesn't matter. Go be in the kitchen. Well, I'm not gonna hide that one. It's just trolling is allowed, I think. But don't worry, I spend enough time in kitchen. I spend enough time in the gym. I have quite a good life, quite a flexible schedule with the work I do that allows me to do YouTube. I spend quite enough time on YouTube as well, so I'm doing well. Keep scrolling up, guys. Okay, hi everyone. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well as well, guys. Who would win between Islam and versus Celia? The most frequently asked question now. Depends on the weight, which weight class. In the welterweight, I think Islam has higher chances. Also, in the lightweight, it's if Ilya gets in and cuts that distance in, cuts you on those punches, like that's pretty much like he has. People don't understand how powerful his punches are, and that is due to specific training. It's not only genetics and all that kind of stuff. Like I think I've been looking in his training, and it's been something that not everyone in UFC does so far yet. They're probably gonna start doing that, but like, yeah, his boxing is great, and also he's a well-rounded fighter in everything else as well. If Islam does not let wears him out, does not let him to catch him on those punches, and has enough stamina, but I think they are somewhere in the same when it comes to stamina. I think that would like I don't exactly know who's gonna outpace who. And I never seen Ilya being tired. Like his hardest fight was Herbert. It was his first lightweight fight. And you remember what happened? He got clean head kick. He went down on his butt, and he still knocked out the guy on the next round. He survived like something that a lot of fighters don't survive. So that indicates on his very strong chin. So I don't know. And I'm Georgian myself, but I respect both fighters. I really do respect Islam. I think he's very, very well-rounded fighter. And I would say 50-50. That's what I say. It depends how the fight goes and who's gonna push their game. Guys, if you want the predictions from me, I'm not an MMA guru or something like that. I'm just I can tell you scenarios in my opinion, that rather which scenario in which case or most likely might happen in my opinion. That's what I can tell you when you ask me those kind of questions. Better stick to boxing. Is much better. Boxing is what it's been called. It's the sport of the gentleman. Well, maybe gentlewomen too. But anyways, yeah, boxing. Boxing is like a chess game. I understand MMA for like all the other martial arts, mixed martial arts. Also, there is also strategy. You look at it, you look at the strategy, look at the dynamic going on. But like boxing, it's like just a pleasure. It's like a chess game to me. You would watch a chess game. If some of you watch both boxing and the chess tournaments, you will understand what I mean. My husband is jealous. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna hide you from the channel. Like, I don't care what people say about me that much, but I have I can become very protective, not in a pleasant way when it comes to my beloved ones. And my husband is a big guy. He's the one who can protect me, protect himself, and everyone in our circle. But no, you don't talk shit about my husband. Bye-bye. Welcome, Indonesia. Hi, guys. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you. Yeah, keep scrolling up, guys. Yeah, I think I'm on the way on the top. Well, paid way. You seem like a very miserable guy. I don't know what women did to you. I know women can be evil. I don't deny that. Men too, like yourself. But if you don't want to listen to my predictions, you can go and scroll up and watch something else. I used to do karate. Go do karate if you ever heard about it. It's Okinawa. So it comes from Japan, obviously, but it's like comes specifically from Okinawa island, and it is quite a combat hard style. So it's not just like, how do you call it, like decorated karate. It has a combat fight. In the go and do, go is like you wear helmets and it's almost like a kickboxing match. And do is you don't wear helmets, you don't wear gloves, and you're not allowed to throw the punch to the face, but you can do body shots and you get points from that, and you can do kicks and you can do head kicks as well, so far as I remember, but it's been years ago. I mean, pound for pound rankings, no disrespect, but to what I've been looking for, even though both Ilya and Merab, like Georgians, are in pound for pound rankings, right? So I should be happy about it. So like, yeah, it's all right. And well, Merab is well deserved. Ilya, I think, is also absolutely. Makhachev, Islam, absolutely well deserved. I think they are top 3 currently. But sometimes those, like, how long Jon Jones was, like, before he retired. Okay, when he retired, they took him down, but like he fought Stipe, and what was his previous fight before that? I don't even remember when was it. So it's like pound for pound rankings can work a little bit in a tricky way. Not necessarily fairly and not necessarily updated on time. That's what I would say, and it's my personal opinion. Okay. I bet Tanke, but can you know? Okay, guys, you can troll about it. As I said, like, don't be. Well, I encourage you not to be mean. You know, it's like I'm trying to. I always try to talk and be cool with the stuff, but it's also my channel. I can just hide, and there is a little pressure. Sometimes it's a little bit satisfaction when you're like seeing some idiots and you hide 10, 20 of them, and then people start, okay, they understand the tone. If they want to be on that live stream, they're being cool and reasonable. So I believe Tank Abbott can, yeah, maybe. Well, how old is he now? Like, he's from one of the pioneers. He's like around 60 or more. Okay, bye-bye. I tried to give you a chance, but yes, I talk a lot because it's a live stream. It's my live stream. Welcome to my live stream. And it's just the live stream is literally called Just Coffee and Talks, okay? It doesn't mean we're talking about, we're going to talk about some nonsense. We can talk about real stuff. Show us your tattoos. So this is one of my biggest tattoos. And it's a female face, a dragon. It's like the same entity, just different. I don't know. That was the philosophy behind that tattoo. And a katana, because my tattoo master thought that it would look cool. What about Volk? I love Volk. I think he's one of my favorite UFC, all-time UFC fighters. I think, like, in every aspect, pretty much, he's fighting, he's personality, his character, his fighting IQ and skill set, top tier. But his personality also, he's like an Uncle Volk, and very good sense of humor. So I think most of people like Volk. Like you can't take that away from him. Islam versus Tapuria, like Khabib versus Conor. Where, well, yeah, feels like same vibe, except Islam is even way better in striking than Khabib, I would say, and Tapuria is definitely not partying and wasting his time on unnecessary stuff. So I think it's going to be a better version of their fight. Where are you from? I'm from Georgia, the country, by the way. So I'm basically saying, yeah, I'm from the same country as Mirab and Ilya. Well, Ilya was he was born in Germany, but he's originally from Georgia and lived some time with his parents, with his family in Georgia. And there's some famous Georgians. Actually, first Georgian UFC fighter, the pioneer for Georgians, was Giga Chikadze. If you never ever heard about that guy, he never been a champion, and I'm not sure which weight class he was. I don't remember the weight class, but his nickname is Ninja, and yeah, he was one of the first ones. Thanks to him, I think the rest of the Georgians came in, especially like Georgians from Georgia, like Mirab, and there are others coming up. I think there's the Bellator champion Levan Chokheli. I know him personally. I was like trained in the same gym at some point. I think he's making his UFC debut soon. And yeah, Georgians are coming in. It's the same like with Dagestanis when it comes like it's a small country, it's a small community, region, and they just try to help each other and bring up more fighters. I'm from Georgia, but I have both Russian and Ukrainian roots from my mother's side. Love my accent. Thank you. How I ended up here. How you ended up here. I don't know. Thanks to algorithm, I guess. Hi, everyone. That's cappuccino. Yes, that's... Oh yeah, it's quite a lot of comments. Oh, it's 120 views. Okay, I didn't even pay attention. What about Arman Tsarukyan? Don't really like him that much. I mean, obvious. Everyone in the UFC is the top. Like, we gotta realize that everyone who got there, who having a solid record, especially fighting like a top tier, win or lose, if they do both, it's high level. Okay, so as a fighter, obviously he's well-equipped fighter. I think he comes from a good family as well, like wealthy family, so he could train, focus, and there's some good who was like that. BJ Penn was like that. Well, I wish the guy trained more, but with his talent, I think he was one of the most gifted fighters. But the point is that there are some good fighters. I don't agree necessarily that the ones who are coming from the wealthy background are not fighters, can be fighters and stuff like that. Not necessarily. Sometimes you're born in a wealthy family, but you have that urge for fighting. But I don't know, his personality, the way he's talking about other fighters, and then he ducked Islam, and I believe he ducked it. Things happen, injuries happen, pulling out a fight happened, but it was he didn't make the weight. He didn't make the weight. And then he was saying, oh, it was a back injury, but then Dana White and no one said about anything. He's like, oh, he just didn't make weight. And you're like, okay. I mean, you're just rather you're not taking it seriously, or rather you're ducking. So after that specific situation, I have a little bit controversial opinion about Arman. Okay. Hamzat Chimaev versus DDP, one of the anticipated fights. I'm looking forward to see. I don't know. Hamzat is very scary, very dangerous fighter, but DDP is like. I really think that if DDP just wears him down, just pressures, doesn't let him wears him out in the first 2 rounds, I think DDP wins. But if that doesn't happen, that I'm not saying that Hamzat can't win. Not saying that. Both are great fighters, but that's my opinion, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I can be completely wrong, and it's fine, but that's what I'm saying. It's my opinion. When's your birthday? My birthday is on 6th of May. I was born in year 2000, so I'm 25 years old now. You don't have to explain everything. Well, do you guys prefer me just to sit and just drink my coffee like this? Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe I should just relax and let you guys talk with each other. I'm just gonna chill and drink my coffee. It's actually very nice here. Judaism versus Islam, who wins? About that one, I'm not even sure. Not so sure. I think Islam has a high, very, very high chances, because he was struggling with lightweight, making that lightweight one of the reasons why he went up. And a lot of people say, oh, he ducked Ilya. Even Ilya doesn't think that Islam ducked him. He was saying that way before, and cutting weight, when you cut like a lot of water weight, go through dehydration, it's not fun, guys, okay? So I think he just went up to more like a natural weight class for him. So we'll see. I think he never fought in welterweight. Not sure, but at least for a long time he didn't do that, and now he's gonna do it, and we'll see how he adapts to that weight. Okay. What are you drinking? So I'm drinking cappuccino coffee. Why do you think Jon Jones retired? Well, I think he's just tired of fighting. Not tired physically. He's not one of those fighters who'd be fighting and fighting and fighting like it's 3-4 times a year up until the end. Nothing like that. Otherwise, he wouldn't be like no one would be able to keep unbeaten record. If you look every boxers, fighters, if you see at them, except maybe some exceptions, I think for the crazy examples who really, really like killing it in their eras. Alexander Karelin comes to me like with 830 something wrestled, 1 loss, and even that loss was weird, by point, not like just a stupid way to lose. I mean, that guy is like something. If you put that record, yes, that's just a single wrestling, but it's an unbelievable record. And in the boxing, who comes to my mind is the Sugar Ray Robinson, for example, 200 something fights, and I think, at some point he had 200 something wins and just 1 loss an earlier part of career, but then he lost, I think, total 17 or 90 times, but still 200 something wins, and at some point you had just a 1 loss of like a peak of, or a little bit past of the peak of his career. And then Benjet Akrides, he also had like 200 fights, like in kickboxing, martial arts. Okidokan, like creator of that style. Anyways, there are some great crazy records and some exceptions who just been fighting and fighting, but it also, like, times were different back then. Now it's way harder to keep unbeaten records. So you got to be very strategic. If you look at Mayweather, if you look at Khabib, if you look at Jon Jones, those are that come to my mind when it comes to undefeated officially. You can look at them that they've been very strategic about it as well. Not necessarily ducking anyone, like sometimes even ducking, but not necessarily ducking people, just being very picky, especially in boxing, you can do that even easier than in MMA. Khabib retired quite early. By the way, have you heard that, is that official? Because I thought it was rumor. Someone said, I think I heard that Khabib, I saw the post, okay? So where we claimed that Khabib said that he is preparing for the return. Or he said something that he could take 6 months of the training and return to his top shape. I'm not sure, but tell me if that's true. Howdy from Texas, ma'am. Hi, howdy. I love Texas. Me and my husband love Texans. Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. In Georgia, having protests recently, I heard on news some time ago. I was planning to from Tbilisi. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not fun. I completely resent what is happening in Georgia at this point. And yeah, it's a complicated situation. I just don't really want to talk about it right now. A woman that can speak boxing and not sound lost, it's respect. It's just not, most of women are not interested in those topics. I believe that learning capacity is a learning capacity. If you focus your attention on something that you're interested in, you just learn. I mean, I don't know everything, okay? And I'm not I'm not trying to pretend to be a specialist or something in martial arts or boxing, but I watch boxing. I like to analyze. I like to learn because I train myself. I kind of know how it feels on your own body, trying to repeat those movements, understand why you do that, what is the purpose, in which situations you use them. So I guess it's just focusing on it, and especially since I started live streaming, I don't want to talk out of my ass, so I educate myself more and more, even like so-called history of boxing, history of the mixed martial arts, because a lot of those things happened way before that I was born. So for a lot of people, that's the nostalgia, like memories. There's some words I don't know exactly how to pronounce. For some people, it's memories. For me, it's a history. But you gotta learn history to understand the present. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate the comment. But as I said, I believe everyone can do that. You just gotta maybe learn how to learn a little bit, learn how to do that efficiently, but also find a topic of your interest, focus on it, and just do it consistently. Conor McGregor. He will never retire. Khabib and Jones didn't duck anybody. Well, I didn't say about Khabib, but Jones didn't give out, at the very least, Jones did not give a rematch to Race, for example. And that was Race, was his one of the closest and most controversial fights that could go both ways. And just because it was Jon Jones. And I'm not taking, Jon Jones is one of the most equipped, watchable, interesting, high IQ, skilled fighter of all time, one of them. But that's a fighting, that's a sport. You cannot be honest. If you really take away all this hype and marketing and trying to favor one or another, if we just do like a strict, okay, who wins wins. I don't believe there's like that fight, for example, he necessarily that could go both ways. And when it came to the rematch, he went up to the heavyweight afterwards. Okay, so, and it's not because he's afraid of the like being an up or something like that. It's not that, but when you're on the streak of being undefeated, and you kind of want to build that legacy being undefeated on that paper, and well, most of your fights are solid undefeated. You kind of become like, why do I even want to risk that? I already fought that guy once. I'm like a legend collector. Or like a star fighter collector in the divisions. Like, let me just do that and move on and do next one. And what was Gun? Yeah, with Gun, it never happened. I believe they were talking about he wanted to move to boxing. There was some problem with UFC between Gun and UFC as well. But essentially, UFC was saying, we offered him a very good offer to fight Jones, but then he disagreed, something like that. But I don't know. Essentially, that fight didn't happen, and we never know what would happen there. Yeah, he said it would take 6 months to make return, but he is not coming. Okay, so he just said it like, because I wasn't sure if that was an announcement or just words. Habib won't do it if he doesn't want to get punched anymore, and better competition now. No, and I think it's smart. It's being self-aware. It's being aware of your own health. Like, who wants to get punched and essentially end up with CTE and dementia? Like, really, who does want that? And we have very sad cases. Like, we have the ones that come to my mind. Well, Tony Ferguson at the current ones, like, come on, man. Like, he's like that's a very sad thing that happening to him, and like pretty much it looks like a CTE symptoms. And I think it's like he had a tendency to certain things before, and it just made it worse. I think BG Penn has a problem with that. What was one of the famous Diego Sanchez? Like, was he the first Ultimate Fighter champion? I'm not sure exactly, but I remember like I've been watching some of his highlights, watching some of the documentary about him, and the scam, like this Joshua fucking Fabi or whoever, like that fake guru thing. I mean, the guy, the way how he went downhill from potentially being one of the stars to, just being beaten up and bouncing from one place to another in his life. It's sad. Okay, so you gotta be. That's why we gotta give a respect to fighters. Everyone who steps in the octagon and the ring deserve your freaking respect. And they put their health on the stake. And I never judge any fighter when they just decide to stop. I really don't. My country is Georgia, guys. You fight in the ring. I had some amateur record. I had a lot of open ring fights back in Georgia, and well, I'm trying to get back to it. I just don't have sparring partners here. There's not a single woman in the Chang who is doing boxing. So I just focus on my stamina and cleaning up being smart about my work. I'm mastering, training certain combos, certain offenses, certain defenses that I'm gonna try my best to practice, to use it on the sparrings. And we're gonna go to Kuwait in the end of this month. Maybe there's gonna be some opportunity to do some training and sparring with. I don't even know if there's gonna be any local boxers, especially in my weight class, especially women. If not, I'm just gonna be back. We're gonna be back in Georgia in the end of September, and well, there that problem is gonna be solved. So I'm gonna re-enter the sparring phase in Georgia. Light sparrings, technical sparrings, nothing heavy. Maybe just one heavy one before a competition. Maybe amateur boxing, nationals. I haven't decided clearly because it's up to a lot of circumstances. So it rather would be amateur again for some time, at least as the beginning, as a re-entrance, or it would be pro. I'm not sure exactly. Because with pro boxing, you can you can train, travel, as long as you're consistent. And we have some friends who are promoters actually, so that wouldn't be a problem to start to kind of organize the fights and try to build the record, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be established basically within the next few months. You like Brock Lesnar? Brock Lesnar is a monster. It's cool. Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, Alex Pereira, Poatan, Jon Jones, Conor McGregor, and Anderson Silva are my favorite fighters. Well, Conor McGregor used to be one of my favorite fighters. I think for a while, he was everyone's favorite fighter. His story, he's like a come up. But now really, he lost that. Personal for me, I mean, we can change our opinions based on our on the fighter's behavior and the celebrity's behavior. You know, sometimes you're like, oh, not anymore. My fighter, like Charles Oliveira, absolutely love him. Max Holloway, yeah, the youngest UFC debut like at 20 years or something. Alex Pereira, absolutely love him. I would say Alex Volkanovski, Dustin Poirier, absolutely as well. Just a diamond, you know. Guy never tried to. He's been always a warrior. He just retired recently. Has a beautiful family, and I'm really happy for him. Obviously, Georgian fighters, Merab Dvalishvili and Ilia Topuria, also like a current one of the favorites. Islam is great. DDP, I like DDP. I don't know. There is something about that guy. Adesanya, easy, like before his downfall now, and both Pereira and him kind of went down, but like that period when they had those rivalry was beautiful. That period in UFC like a few years ago. Anderson Silva, yeah, the crazy. Did he switch to boxing? I think he had a boxing match with, I don't remember which one, but like after MMA, I think he tried some boxing too. Francis Ngannou, yeah, the beast. That's I don't know, guys, one of the best. There's so many fighters that actually might not be that much hyped up, but they're so good. They're dangerous. Do you remember Roy Nelson, Big Country? Like that guy, like literally just looks like your a plumber neighbor, and fucking knocking out everyone in the octagon. I was watching some controversy about him, not about him, but like UFC. For sometimes, because UFC want to make money and they want to set a certain tone, certain just prioritize certain fighters depending on certain things and characteristics, I guess. And Roy Nelson was completely out of, like, he didn't look good to it, like he didn't look like a model or athletic type of fighter. It was just like a pure knockout power and like fighting skills, you know. And I think after that, like even like he was bullied a lot There were so many comments. He would win. He would win, and they would would say comments about his body, about him being fat, and those kind of things. But then it's never happened later on with Daniel Cormier, and you can see more the heavyweights. They're don't have specifically an athletic looking bodies in that sense, shredded and stuff. But that's not a bad thing anymore. But I think Roy Nelson got a lot of unfair fire towards himself. That guy was great. UFC fighters are extremely underpaid. Yeah, that's another topic that is. Someone was saying that in a boxing, you gotta pay for tickets, everything, and that's why the pay margin is bigger. Also, you have more sponsors, so it's kind of this is how you make more money, but there is also more expense. Whether when it's MMA or UFC specifically, every organization have their rules, I guess. And I've seen. I remember, for example, a lot of fighters who go into Bellator because Bellator was offering more money. So I don't know. It depends on the organization. I don't know if they're being cheap or it's just I don't know. There's certain policies and their budgeting, but I can say that I hope with the wages and amount of money increases, which it did. If it's comparing 10 years ago how it was and 15 years ago, I think they're getting paid more. But they should get paid more, I think. Okay, guys, I'm just keep scrolling up, guys. Yeah, Demetrius Johnson. I assume he's bad, Jon Jones. Well, Demetrius Johnson had he fought in one championship after, and he had some losses, but I think he revenged some fights. But anyways, it's Demetrius Johnson, I think, is also one of the greatest fighters. It's just highly underestimated because his weight class, because he's extremely, what was that, flyweight? Thank you very much for the positive engagement, guys. Jake Paul versus Tank Abbott sounds realistic to me. I like fighting older guys. But what's the thing now? There's gonna be Joshua versus Jake Paul. Have you heard about that? Is it a rumor or it's confirmed thing? Because I mean, we'll see. So far, to me, Jake Paul is definition of just a show, rigged fights, not solid record, fighting again some ex-UFC fighters, and then fighting a 60-year-old Tyson, that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, I don't know if he's finally ready to step in the proper boxing and actually fight someone like Joshua is a way higher caliber than him, and if it's not a paid off and rigged, we'll see if that fight even happens. From which country? I'm from Georgia, guys. Who else do you think is in the same stand like Dustin Poirier, who keeps winning and losing occasionally, just moving up and down in their division, and their prime time is over? Well, there is a generational shift. So I think out of the older generation, the best, the one who is doing the best is Alexander Volkanovski, I think. He's doing the best because now after the knockout loss to Ilya Tapuria, he managed to get his featherweight title back by fighting someone way younger. Diego Lopez, I think that was, and he won clean. And I think out of that generation, Volk is doing well, and Merab is doing well, because Merab, he might not be in UFC. Like, a lot of people don't know his journey as like as the other fighters' journeys. Like, because some of the fighters, you see how they grown up, like Holloway, he grown up there, and Poirier, like, you see him from a very young age, and like seeing them growing up in the UFC. I don't think Merab was the case, but Merab is 34, 35 years old now, and well, he's a champion, right? So those two, I would say, from the older generation, they're still having it. But like Charles Oliveira, I mean, one of the, I think, humble, great, a real true warrior, a real fighter. But yeah, I mean, his prime is over, and that's just the way it is. As I mentioned, Tony Ferguson, is the guy has to stop fighting, but unfortunately, he's not willing to. I mean, Pereira is coming back. I think is there a rematch between Pereira versus, because I was watching the announcement. I think Dana said Pereira versus Ankalaev, the rematch. We can give a credit to Pereira. That's the guy. Yes, he lost the fight, but you gotta give him a credit. He haven't been taken down in that fight against Ankalaev a single time. There was like 7 attempts of the takedown from Ankalaev's side, and Pereira defended all of them. When he's not even a grappler, he's like a pure striker, kickboxer. So I hope he still got it. I think he went to he's like doing some rituals with his ancestry and stuff like that, and hope he's gonna comes back stronger. It's worth to mention. Let's mention Sean Strickland. I think Sean Strickland has had the guy's been, he's damaged. He's been through stuff, but I think from the background he came from, I think he got at the best point, and I hope he doesn't end up bad. I hope he doesn't go too far. So far he seems, yes, he said some crazy stuff, but he seems okay. And he managed to knock out Adesanya when no one expected. That was not even his original fight. He was like a substitute for I forgot who pulled out, but it was Adesanya and someone else, and then Strickland was put as the top. He was like a 5th contender technically, put against the fight, knocks out Adesanya. Gotta give a credit to that guy. He's been a UFC champion, but yeah, DDP walks through him. And yeah, there are fighters like that, but they're still great fighters. That's why I'm like, yes, they're like great, like the best fighters. His records are unbelievable. They're like completely dominant. They're like handful of those guys, but you gotta give respect for rest as well, because they're one of the best, in the world. Yeah, I'm keep scrolling up. Guys, who don't like me yapping, please just scroll it up and watch something else, okay? Mario Bautista will be Merab's hardest matchup, in my opinion. I've seen some Bautista's highlights. I don't remember what is his stamina, because I always say the only someone who's gonna match Merab and who's gonna be able to win, they gotta have at least remotely close as good stamina as he has. Without stamina, don't even think about being like relying on the striker's luck or anything like a knockout or like just the striker's luck or anything like that. So I don't remember what was his stamina like because I don't really watch his like fights. I watched only highlights. So I'm gonna look into it and see. Or remember Nate Diaz versus Jack Paul, yeah, and Diaz brothers, another like they're just themselves. They're no other than like there's no one else like Diaz brothers. They're just single, like they're only two Diaz brothers, the way they are, and in some weird way they're both likable. I think. What do you think, guys? Do you think Nick Diaz was robbed of like his best years, like 5 years suspension for a pot, which is not even a performance enhancing drug technically. So for PEDs and all that kind of stuff, people get a few months suspension, maybe a year. Like they just can have some ways around it. And for the pot, you get 5 years. Like I think the UFC that way and the drug commission, they just ruined his career. Nate essentially ended up to be a little bit better with his career because like he wasn't in the same situation, I think. But yeah, I mean, I like these brothers. I'm winning Hamzat to beat DDP. I don't think that's necessarily impossible. I'm not saying that. I just I always give when someone has a better endurance and better pressure, like volume of pressure. I'm not saying just a single punch, like a hard punches or something. Because if you're a hard puncher, you always have a higher chance of a striker's luck. If you have a strong ground game, if you go against striker, there is very high chance you get them into ground, you wear them out. DDP can do both, and like that's why the reason why I'm leaning towards DDP, because I just think he has a bigger volume, bigger stamina. When we're talking about willpower and breaking someone mentally, it's meaning breaking their stamina and endurance. Joe Rogan versus Dana White. Well, Joe is a BJJ and he did taekwondo as well. Like, have you seen the Joe Rogan teaching GSP how to do that? Not roundhouse. No, it wasn't a roundhouse kick. It was like a spinning back kick, but in a different way. Like, it was crazy. So I don't know if and Dana is more like a boxing. I think he was. He challenged Tito Ortiz in a boxing match, and essentially it never happened. And he believes he would beat him in the boxing rules. So I don't know. Depends. I guess depends on which rules we're talking about. It will be fun though. Okay. Who believes that the UFC is probably gonna happen at the White House? I mean, they want to make money, want to hype it out. Most likely, yes. Also, I mean, currently Trump is the president, right? And he's like good with Joe Rogan, the Dana White, friends. He attends a lot of UFC events, so I don't think it's impossible. Okay, I'm gonna keep drinking my coffee. I think you guys, you're right, guys. I yap a little bit, way too much sometimes, but what can I do? I mean, just having my off time, just chilling, relaxing, having coffee, having a beautiful view in front of me. Let me just show you for a second, actually. Look at this. I think that looks quite good. So Yeah, this is just talks, just coffee and talks, live stream. So nothing serious. If you really want to join for something, is at Georgia. It's not Georgia, it's Vietnam, but I'm from Georgia. So I'm from Georgia, Tbilisi, the capital. No, that's Vietnam. As I said, it's Vietnam, not Trang. And it's beautiful. Like, you'll be surprised, guys. It's one of the cheapest countries in the world. Very, very affordable. And extremely beautiful. Like, amazing food, amazing people. Oh, I have a puppy here. Hi. Okay, you're chilling. I'm gonna let you be. But yeah, anyways, it's a beautiful country, beautiful people, beautiful food, a lot of activities, a lot of water activities, gyms, basically pretty much everything you would wish for. Very relaxing view. You should come to visit New Zealand if you get the chance. Absolutely, one day, hopefully, is going to be able to travel even more. We have some travel scheduled to different places, and yeah, one day, hopefully. New Zealand is one of my dream places as well. So I'll definitely not going to say no if I have opportunity. Come to Pakistan. Northern mountains are breathtaking. Yeah, I mean, it's. I heard both Pakistan and India, like northern parts, beautiful, spectacular. One of the best hiking areas as well, like mountaineering and like mountain climbing. So it's quite spectacular to think about it, how the world we're living in, and you're getting used to one area if you don't travel, and you're just getting used to where you're living at, and even that place can have some spectacular areas that other people are just willing to see, and you have it just like a couple steps away from you. I started thinking about it more and more when I started traveling. Yeah, Himalayas. I think the closest to Himalayas, I was in Rishikesh. We were in Rishikesh in last year, and it was very beautiful. The Ganga River was very clean, very nice in that part, because it was at the beginning of the river, I would say, and the mountains, and you could hike from that part, from Rishikesh, and kind of that was like the end of Himalayas. Yeah, Mirabilint, Heliotopouria, and Quartzfelia, Georgian Atlas are increasingly at the top. Yeah, gradually getting there. I mean, you gotta try to be at your best when you're from a small country, small nation. Yeah, I'm very grateful for the Georgians who managed to do that, because a lot of people now know about my country, like pretty much everyone. Yeah, Pakistan has 7 to 10 highest peaks in the world. Yeah, I'm trying to even remember. My friend he's like a mountaineer, and I think they were Pakistan, India, in the mountains. I'm gonna ask them later, but I remember they were telling me that it was spectacular. Regarding losing views, it always happens. Like, obviously, it's all up to engagement and those kind of topic, like talking, just a casual talking. Live streams, they hold it a little bit and then they decrease, and well, I'm probably gonna stop it, finish it soon, because I actually gotta go to work in a bit, and that's just it always helps YouTube a little bit, but that was not the mainstream today. The mainstream is gonna be later, and the boxing training always has a bigger engagement, and yeah, that's okay pretty much, you know. It's like this is how algorithm works, I guess.
Riêng loạt từ ngoài ba tầng đến bốn tầng sáng rồi sợ nhà đấy. Nó là vậy nó đi về sốt em về quanh ở nhưng mà cái nào đi chỗ bột đè nó bán hải sản.
But okay, guys, you know what?
Có cầu đúng không?
Thank you for being here. Thank you for engaging in the chat. That was like, you know, no polls, nothing specific. It was just me yapping. And thanks for people who stick around it. And you know what? Check out. I already have scheduled the later training, where it's going to be the heavy back training, and I'm going to explain. I'm going to train myself, obviously combos and stuff, but I'm going to also explain how you should do that. There's certain nuances to it, and I guess it's going to be helpful for some people, especially the ones who want to learn a little bit more about boxing. So I will read the last few comments before I go, and then we'll wrap up the stream. Who do you think is going to win with between Kyla Harris and Amanda Nunes? I mean, Kyla Harris is being consistently in shape now, and having like I'm not sure how many streak of wins she has, but she has few. And Amanda Nunes been retired, and she's coming out of retirement. It depends how she prepares. I lean maybe towards Kyla, just because of physical conditioning. But it can be. It really depends how Amanda prepares. I'm not really aware what is her physical preparation and conditioning at this moment. So it's hard for me to respond to the question. You guys kind of realize how I look at it, right? So I'm not just saying things that, oh, that's going to win just because I think so. I always try to explain why I do think something. How are you doing? I'm doing well. Thank you. Bye. Have a great day ahead. Thank you very much. You have a great day or night as well, depending where you're from. Stay natural. Always stay natural. Well, in that sport, it's hard to stay natural. It's very, even though UFC has stricter doping tests than, let's say, one championship or, you know, like other promoting organizations, but it still allows you to get cycle in, cycle out. You know, if you know what I'm talking about, like you're gonna understand that there's different ways how to do it. As long as you don't mess up on the test, you're fine, and you can just cycle in, cycle out. So I believe a lot of fighters do that, but obviously not everyone. I cannot just take my finger and pick, oh, you do it. No, you cannot do that. Obviously, it can false like you someone who never been caught on test and caught positive on test. But there is still a chance. There are very high chances of people that are doing that in a smart way, and just it ends up the way some of them fail the tests, some of them don't, and she's not an artist. She's not itself. Well, thank you. I'm an artist though too. I used to be an artist even before doing any boxing and fighting. Thanks for all of your take on my questions. Thanks for sharing your views and your time. Appreciate it. Have a nice one. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you too, Winnie. Have a good day. Greetings from Samoa, sister. Greetings. Yeah, I love that tattoo as well. Vietnam has no wrestling. Send it to Dagestan. Send it to Georgia. And I lived 22 years of my life fully in Georgia. So that's more than 2-3 years. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for being here. I'm gonna go now and check out the later stream today. Learning boxing back work. Join for that stream. You're not gonna regret it. And I see you in that stream. Okay, ciao.